Listen, we're not marching or protesting for our people who go off and are the only black person, and they go off with a bunch of white people and they come up missing. We're not protesting for y'all no more. We don't, listen, your mammies know, your pappies know, whoever your guardian, they know better. But since they want to live in this illusion and send your ass out there and sheep amongst the wolves, we ain't finna waste our energy, because we done told you, we done told you, listen, we done told you, y'all done seen it, we keep showing it, we keep talking about it, we keep saying don't trust these people, we keep telling y'all, and for some reason the back of your head, oh honey, just those are stupid people, just go on, have fun, see you when you get home, dear, and you don't get home, and you gonna look at us to protest, bitch, no, bye, bitch, bye.
This is going to be a hot take, and it's either going to get me canceled or people are going to be like, you're right. So here we go. I'm just going to say it. Black people have got to stop hanging out with groups of white people. And I mean that. If you're going to be the only black person in that group, go home. Go home. Because these days, you just can't trust white people anymore. Obviously. It happens time and time and time again. You see one black person hanging out with their group of white friends, and they're like, oh, I've known these guys for forever. We grew up with them. You know, I'm the only black person in the high school or something like that. Especially down here in the South, okay? Down here in the South. Obviously, we realize that these pieces of crap, the white people, will turn on you. They will turn on you quick. So not only do y'all have to be worried about the police, now you need to be worried about your group of white friends that you grew up with. And am I saying every white person's like that? No, obviously not. Okay, but better be safe than sorry, right? And that's a shame. But I just keep seeing it happen. And like over the past, like, you know what, 2 or 3 years, especially, if you know what I'm talking about, people have just gotten louder and prouder about it. So really, it all boils down to like a lack of empathy these days. That's a whole nother subject though. But yeah, it don't come from me about my hair. I just got them running 5 miles.
Got to teach your kids, especially your kids that are hanging out with rich white kids, that is not good. You gotta stop letting them hang out with rich white kids. This Nolan Wells situation never should have happened. The parents of Nolan Wells should have known better than to let him hang out with these kids. I have an older son. I'm not saying it's the parents' fault, but I'm just saying it happens all the time. My older son is half black. He looked more black than he did half. But he got into a similar situation. He was fighting with a bunch of rich kids in North Atlanta, the North Atlanta suburbs, the richest neighborhood in Cherokee County, Georgia. And he was fighting with a bunch of boys over a girl. And lucky for him, he didn't wind up dead. He just wound up locked up for a while. But it could have wound up with him being killed. And, you know, we as parents, we have to do a better job in informing our children about who they should and shouldn't hang out with, because matters. The color of your skin matters, especially when you're hanging out with a bunch of rich kids that have, you know, doctors and lawyers and judges as parents. You know that your kid is going to either wind up locked up or dead. So my heart goes out to Nolan Wells' family. I really hate that it happened to him, but you gotta protect your children, because white people will kill your children at the drop of a hat. That's just the way it is, especially these entitled little rich white kids.
Racist white person, I don't mean the person who is examining his consciousness and so on, doesn't understand that he or she is also a race. It's also constructed. It's also made. And it also has some kind of serviceability. But when you take it away, I take your race away. And there you are, all strung out. And all you got is your little self. And what is that? What are you without racism? Are you any good? Are you still strong? You still smart? You still like yourself? If you can only be tall because somebody's on their knees, then you have a serious problem. And my feeling is white people have a very, very serious problem. And they should start thinking about what they can do about it.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Ba'ashem YAHAWASHI, Ba'ashem Rakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, shalom to my Akim Wakwathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nation, but are actually Yasharallah. This brother Kawakab coming at you with no lesson. I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time seeing that last part. I saw the first two videos, and I said, okay, let me make a video about this. And then I'm like, as I was listening to her talk, this video right here, I was like, holy shit, that is actually incredibly powerful. Like, that is actually like, that's some real talk. That's some real, that's real shit. Like, that is, I'm slacky, but like, I'm genuinely baffled by like what I was hearing, because like, that's some, like, genuine, like real stuff. So as a result of that, I'm like thinking like, damn, like I'm just like astonished. I'm genuinely astonished. I did not expect that. I was not expecting that. Like, okay, anyway, I'm slacky for the glaze, but like, that was some real shit. Like, that was tough. That was tough. Anyway, back to the topic. So yeah, what had happened here, basically, I'm gonna try to keep this as very objective as I can. And basically what happened was that this guy, this Jake with the name Nolan Wells or whatever the fuck, he was hanging out with a bunch of his quote unquote friends, which were all Edomites, Edomite rich boys or whatever the fuck. And apparently he had got into an argument with them and ended up dying. So the thing is that you are associating, it's so hard for me to watch my words, but whatever. You as a Jake are associating with people, and it's just like this is why you have to be careful about who you are associating with, because again, like, this is these people, like, and it's not even just Edomite. It's not even just Edomites, because at the end of the day, what I like to say is that people are, let me actually get that over here. John 8 verse 44, ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh the lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So basically, the thing here is that it's not just Edomites, and I have to make this clear, because yes, Edomites did kill him, apparently, and yes, Edomites are the ones that are, the progenitors of this wicked and evil. But you have to understand that it is a learned thing that even other nations do. Look at what that guy, one guy, Rick Chow, he thought, okay, yeah, I seen a whole bunch of fucking Edomites doing this, so I'll just do the same thing and I'll get away with it. And I think he did get away with it. So if we are if we are listening, if we're seeing and acknowledging that it's not just Edomites, but other nations that are copying after these Edomite ways, then why are we not going to use caution, use wisdom to say, okay, yeah, it's all of the thing, or we need to cover our asses so that we're not just leaving ourselves to just be killed or whatever and stuff like that. And you have so many people that are so desperate to fit in with Esau, Edom, or not. So I can even correct myself. To desperate to fit in Babylon, that they don't even realize the danger that they're putting themselves in as a result of it. And as a result of that, it's like, okay, well, what is going to happen now that you intentionally put yourself in danger? You intentionally are allowing stuff to happen. Like, this is the stuff that's going on where, okay, well, now who cares about all this stuff? You died. You are not taking any of the steps to guard and protect yourself from allowing something like this to happen. All right, now the thing here is, again, it's not just Edomites, and you might have seen. I actually did see about this, because there was this one story of this Eve, so-called black girl. I think she was younger. I think she was a teenager or some shit like that, or hell, maybe she was even younger than that. I don't remember, because I definitely do remember what happened was it was a bunch of little girls. I think they were in their teens or something like that, but they were a bunch of little girls. They were live streaming. A bunch of white Edomite girls were live streaming them beating on this one so-called black girl. And again, like they live streamed it. They did all that stuff. I wasn't watching the live stream, but I just heard about it when they reported it on the news and stuff like that. I think the video got taken down, but I wouldn't know. I didn't watch the video. I'm not gonna force myself to sit through something like that. But you get the point. What happened was that there was some girls that were live streaming beating the shit out of some so-called black girl. So how much more the rest of these other nations, and just in general these Babylonians, which it goes back into why are we associating ourselves with this type of wickedness? Why are we associating ourselves with this type of evil? And we need to be careful to, okay, let me steer clear from being wicked. Let me steer clear from putting myself in danger and allowing something bad to happen. All right. Now, as a result of that, that's where you have stuff like this. Let me actually get these, which is the premise of this lesson, which is Proverbs 22 verse 3. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And that's the thing here, where it's through wisdom that you say, okay, you know what? Let me be careful. I acknowledge that there are certain things that me, as a so-called black person, as a so-called Hispanic, as a so-called Mexican, as an Israelite more specifically, all right, there are certain things that we can't do. Yeah, I might view these people as friends, but do they actually view me as friends, or am I just a convenience to them, or a commodity or something? Or are they secretly planning things to do towards me behind my back and stuff like that, where I just do not know, and I'm not aware of what's going on? Okay, you're not always at the secret meetings and all that stuff, and maybe they have a group chat where you're not included. All right, you never know, and it's just stuff like this where it's like people, they might seem like friends at first, but you don't know their end goal and stuff like that. So that's why we're supposed to be careful about who we are associating with, which is why the Lord said, let me actually get that over here. Fellowship. Ephesians 5 verse 11, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove them. No, that's not what I wanted. Over here, 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14, be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers, for what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion hath light with darkness? Where again, like, oh, hold on, let me also get this. It was if ye, John 15:19, if you were of the world would love his own, but because ye are not of the world, but I have chosen you out of the world, therefore the world hateth you. So naturally, people are gonna be naturally inclined to hating us, and as a result of that, again, like that just goes back into the caution of, with that hatred that these people have, some of them are more inclined to say, okay, well, I'm just going to go and kill this person. I'm just going to go hurt this person. I'm going to go do this, or I'm going to go ruin this person's life or whatever and stuff like that. Where, again, like, it's not always black and white. And again, I even gave you the example of the whole Rick Chow situation. Rick Chow. What happened? Because it was, acquitted of murder in June 2026 for the 2023 fatal shooting of 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton. The fatal incident occurred, in his gas, wrongly suspecting the teen of shoplifting 4 water bottles during the chase. Fatally shot the teen in the back. The trial concluded, blah, blah. Prosecutors argued child acted anger over the suspected death, while child's defense maintained he had fired a shot in self-defense, claiming the teenager pointed a gun at his son during the pursuit after delivering over 8 hours. Blah blah. It was I think, because what I heard was they said that the teen was shot in the back, so it couldn't have been a matter of shot him in the back. Alright, so Slakia. So basically, one of the main things is that he was chasing him. So if he had a gun, if he had a gun that was threatening his son, then why were you chasing him? Like that's basically the main thing. I understand trying to stop a shoplifter, of course, and this is not to say that you never have to act in self-defense, or you never have to kill somebody, all right, but at the same time, it's just like he literally chased him, and he didn't choose to number one, he wrongfully accused him, and that's number one, because they clearly found that out, and he didn't call the police instead of doing that stuff. Anyway, the main thing is just that, this is the main thing I wanted to bring up with this was the fact that Moab is taking from Esau's MO and doing the exact same shit that Esau is doing, or Esau would do, or Esau has done. All right, so he took that and says, oh yeah, if Esau can freaking shoot so-called black kids in the back and get away with it, I can do that exact same thing too. And lo and behold, he did it and he got away with it. All right, so this is the stuff that we should be aware of. Hence why we need to take extra care to be careful about the things that we do, rather than just being ignorant of, oh, everyone loves me, or everyone's fine, or there's no racism and stuff like that. Which, saying that there's no racism is the bullshit that Esau says. Esau pretends like, oh yeah, there's no racism, or this, and the third, when while still making fun of the shit that we go through. All right, literally making jokes. There were people making jokes about what's it called, the George Floyd thing, saying, oh, I can't breathe and stuff like that. Like, and I've literally heard that shit before. Like, that's a bunch of shit that's just incredibly insensitive and just evil, and it's all at the expense of us. We're always at the butt of the joke already. All right, and again, this is just another thing that's no different, where you think that, oh yeah, these are my friends, or we're cool, we're this, that, and the third, and whatever, while at the same time it's just like, okay, well, very clearly we're not friends. Very clearly they're aiming to backstab you. They're aiming to kill you. They're aiming to do all these different things to go against you. Like they are plotting against you. And Jake just cannot see that. They don't want to see that because they are more, they're seeking the approval of Esau Edom rather than YAHAWASHI. Bear with me one moment. Slakia. So as I was saying, they're seeking the approval of Esau Edom, and not just Esau Edom, but everyone else in general, rather than seeking the approval of YAHAWASHI. And this is the end result of it: getting killed. You're getting killed. You're seeking approval from the wrong places rather than YAHAWASHI. Like, how is it that it's so difficult for people to understand that, like, these people, they do not love you. They do not give a fuck about you. They are plotting against you. They want you dead, and yet the only thing that goes through your mind is, how do I go and make Esau love me? How do I make Ishmael love me? How do I make Moab love me and all that stuff, rather than just focusing on YAHAWASHI. All right, but no, people are so fixated on this world and the social bullshit interactions that Esau exalts, where, oh, you have to go to the next social gathering and stuff like that. And then look at what happened to this. Oh, all the cool kids are going to be there. And then look at how it happened. This dumb fuck died. You were the only black person, apparently, according to what they were saying. And then you ended up dying. And look at how is saying this shit. Yes, she said it. Okay. And, good for them. Good for her to be saying this stuff, and good for Jake in general to understand this and to tell and to warn our people. But it makes so much. It's clearly the people that need to hear this, they do not want to hear it from us. They don't want to even hear it from me. So it's baffling that I'm even making this video, but at the same time, I'm not really making this video for them. This video is for, the brothers and sisters that are in this truth that need to hear proper warning and stuff like that. If you have some fucking sense in you, you're going to actually, you should take and retain this word and take and retain something. All right. Knowing that the things that you're doing, you have to be careful about what you do. All right. But the main thing here is that we've gotten to the point where even an Edomite woman is telling you, yo, stop fucking hanging out with white people. Look at her fucking skin. She is saying she's a so-called white woman, apparently, maybe, I don't know, possibly. And she is saying that you guys, hey, I may not be racist, or I may be racist, or whatever. I don't know if she is, but she's saying, I highly doubt it. I highly doubt it. And the reason why I say this in the way I'm saying it is because sometimes a lot of these people, they are not necessarily Edomites. They might be Jake, all right? Because a lot of Edomite parents that couldn't have kids on their own, they adopted Native American kids, and what happened is that Native Americans just thought that, oh yeah, well, I'm white or whatever and stuff like that. So they just grew up believing that. So you never know who is the thing, and then they go get with they get with white people because that's who they grew up with, and then it's just that whole assimilation thing. But anyway, the main thing is just that this is not 100% Edomite. We don't know yet. Maybe she's an Edomite, maybe she's not, but she's warning you with her skin, with her appearance. She's warning you that stay away from these all white groups of people where they're saying, hey, let's go hang out, let's go do this, that, and the third, or whatever, and stuff like that, where you are putting yourself in danger to be murdered. All right. And it's the one example that I do know, which I already said before, where it was that one girl that was with a bunch of, I think they were like teenage, 15 or something like that, maybe, I don't know, and they were just cruelly beating the fuck out of her. I saw part of the video where they were grabbing her hair and just punching and saying a whole bunch of shit. They were saying the N-word and stuff like that, beating on her, and the girl was fucking crying. Imagine how terrible that must be, how scary that must be, where you are over here thinking that these people are your friends just to be fucking backstab. And it's just like you have no one to blame but your fucking self, because everyone, there's been enough stories that's gone out that's warned you about it, but you have these dumb fucks that are so fixated on wanting approval. Okay, stay away. Like, whatever, man. Just I'm. It's just so fucking stupid. Who else was there?
Never should have had.
Don't even know who this guy is. He looks like a Hispanic. Still wisdom. Anyway, again, like everybody knows. Literally everyone knows, but except Jake doesn't know. Jake is too fucking stupid. All right. Anyway, Proverbs chapter 14, verse 16. A wise man feareth and depart from evil, but the fool rageth and is confident. Is you confident? Oh yeah, these are my friends. Like, they're never gonna do anything. They're never gonna hurt me. Like, we're tight. We're this, that, and third. Okay, well, say that again when you're 6 feet under. All right. Say it again when you're horribly disfigured. You're permanently damaged and all that stuff. You don't have sight in your eye or whatever. All right. Say that then. Say that afterwards. But Ecclesiastes chapter, did I just skip something? Ecclesiastes chapter 8 verse 5. Whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing, and a wise man heart discerneth both time and judgment. And the wise man's gonna say, like, okay, you know what? Let me stay away from this person. Let me stay away from this area. Let me stay away from these people. You know, this is not where I really want to be. I want to kind of. I think that YAHAWASHI is telling me that there's going to be evil in this area, so let me go take my ass over elsewhere and stuff like that, to be safe, just to be careful and whatnot. But rather than being safe, no, they don't care about being safe. They rather be stupid, and that's the end result of it. You get your ass fucking beat. You get your ass fucking tortured and stuff like that. All right. Isaiah 33 verse 6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure. Once again, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. And what does that mean? Basically, the fear of the Lord in YAHAWASHI is what says, okay, I need to stay away from this, avoid doing this, avoid that, or whatever, which is what's going to protect you. It's what's going to help you get through your situations, what's going to help you get through all the trials and tribulations, hardships, and whatever. Yes, we're gonna have to go through certain hardships, but you don't actively seek shit out to make your time even worse, to make your tribulations even harder. You avoid them by saying, okay, you know what, let me take a step back, let me stay away from this, let me do this or whatever, something else, all right, that is wiser. All right, that's wise. Now, over here, I'll end it off with this. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Proverbs 9 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Psalms 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, his praise endureth forever. Psalms 111 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments, his praise endureth forever. Basically, fearing YAHAWASHI and fearing that, okay, well, YAHAWASHI could whoop my ass and stuff like that, so let me do my due diligence, actually follow in his word, follow what is in his teachings. So rather than just be some dumbass that just wants to do whatever I want to do, all right, and it's through that wisdom, it's through that knowledge, it's through that understanding that you will be protected. So with that, I pray this was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, Yahawashi, Shem, Shalom, honor to the elders and apostles, great most, son of God, Shalom.